Bhattacharya, and I hope you are fit and fine in this pandemic period. Today we will be continuing our previous classes of computer programming language. Okay, in our previous class we have discussed about the low level language, which is the machine level assembly level language, and also about a translator called assembler. Today we will be discussing about the third generation language and fourth generation language, okay, and fifth generation language also. These languages use a special kind of translator called the interpreter and compiler, because interpreter and compiler are essential for these languages for the translation of their code into machine level code. Okay, so let us first understand what are compiler and interpreter. Compiler and interpreter are translators that convert the high level language into machine level language, which is the binary digit form, into 0 and 1. Okay, but both of them are working for the same cause. Even then, the technique of working or the method of working is different. That is why, although doing the same work, they both have different working conditions. Let us now have a look at the differences between interpreter and compiler. What are the things that make them different from each other? Okay, interpreter translates the program one statement at a time. Okay, when we translate the program by using an interpreter, what it does is that it translates the program line by line. Okay, on the opposite, the compiler scans the entire program and translates whole into a machine code. The compiler works by translating the whole code into the machine level code. It doesn't translate line by line like the interpreter. Secondly, interpreter takes less time to analyze the source code, but overall execution time is slower than the compiler. What is the reason behind this? In the first point, we have learned that it translates the program one statement at a time or line by line. Now, what does this do? Analyzing the statement or executing the statement or translating it line by line, what happens by then? It takes more time. Okay, why does it take more time? Because after the translation, it doesn't create a copy of that code. Again, when you are running the program, it will again start to translate the code into machine code, which takes more time for the execution. That is why it takes less time to analyze and more time to execute, which makes it slower in comparison to the compiler. On the contrary, the compiler takes more time to analyze the source code because it translates the whole code at once into the machine code. That is why it takes more time to translate. But overall execution time is faster than the interpreter. Once the code is translated, it saves the copy of that code. Okay, doing that saves much time or much CPU time in comparison to the interpreter. That is why compiler executes the code faster than the interpreter. After that, again and again, if we are running that code, it just runs the machine code. It never again translates the source code. Okay. Thirdly, no object code is created. Object code means machine level code. Previously, I have already told that while translating, interpreter only translates the statement line by line and then it executes it. Okay, but it doesn't create the machine level code. But compiler creates the object code. It creates the machine level codes and it saves it for the further use. JavaScript, Python, Ruby, these are the name of the programming languages. They use interpreters, okay? But C, C++ and Java, these programming language use the compiler. One more thing I want to say that interpreters, while they are translating, if they find any kind of error in the process of translation, they will stop the translation there, okay? They will stop the translation there until and unless the error is rectified. But compiler doesn't do that. It will translate the whole source code, and wherever the error is there, it will just list it out for you so that you can rectify the code afterwards, okay? You can pause the video and write down the differences between the interpreter and compiler. Okay students, now we will talk about the third generation programming language. What are its features and what are the examples of third generation programming language, okay? Third generation programming language is a high level programming language. It is really very easy for the user to understand and use it. Let us now see what are the features of third generation programming language. Firstly, it is a high level language. We have just studied about the high level language. What is it? I think now you have already understood. Third generation programming language is also known as high level language. It is programmer friendly. Programmer friendly means and structured language. What does this sentence mean? Programmer friendly and structured language means this language uses the it is similar to the English language that we use, because while programming in third generation programming language, the programmers use the English words and mathematical symbols to write down the programming code, okay, which makes it easier for the programmer to write the programs. It is machine independent. The low level languages were machine dependent, but high level programming languages are machine independent. What does the term machine independence states? The term machine independent states that the programs which are written in high level language or third generation programming language, they don't have to get changed, okay, or they might have minor changes inside them to work in any computer. It means for every different computer, you don't have to prepare a different set of programming code. The same code will work in another computer also with no changes or minor changes in them, okay. It requires compiler or interpreter. These are the translators. So third generation programming language will require either the compiler or the interpreter depending on what kind of programming language we are going to use, okay. For example, C, C++, Python and Java, these are the name of different programming languages. They are the third generation programming language. After this, I want you to write down or understand what is the source code and object code, because these terms are used many times in the programming language, okay. Source code, the program which is written in any programming language. Any programming language means it may be written in C, it may be written in C++, it may be written in SQL, Ruby, Python, in any, okay. These are the name of programming language, but not in the machine language, not in 0 and 1 form. So those programming language are called the source code, okay. Whenever we write the code in, if I am writing for example in C, the piece of the code becomes source code, okay. Let us now understand what is object code. The programs which are written in the machine language, that is in the form of 0 and 1, are called the object code, because these type of code are directly executed by the computer. They don't need to be translated. So these code are called the object code. Okay, write down the definitions of object code and source code, also along with the features of third generation computer. Okay, sorry, third generation programming language. Pause the video and write it down. Okay students, now we will discuss about the fourth generation and fifth generation programming language and their features. Fourth generation programming language is also a kind of high level programming language. Okay, it can also be termed as object oriented programming language. In short, we write it as OOP. Okay, object oriented programming language. It uses the syntax for writing the programming code, so it is limited to some applications only. The overall time and effort required to build a software is greatly reduced when using the fourth generation programming language. Okay, it is also very closer to the human language. It means the language we use, the English words that we use, it is very closer to the use of that words, which makes it very user friendly. It makes it it makes the programmer to create programs very fast. Thus, it reduces the cost of software development. Okay, the examples of fourth generation programming language are SQL, Ruby, and Nomad. They are some of the examples of fourth generation programming language. Let us now understand what are the fifth generation programming language. Okay, fifth generation programming language can also be known as visual programming language. Okay, visual programming language. They are a advanced level of high level programming. Why? Because this generation of programming language uses the concept of AI. AI refers to the artificial intelligence. Okay, it is associated with the use of artificial intelligence. So in fifth generation programming language, the concept of visual and graphics and interactive user interactiveness is there. So it is quite easier to use the fifth generation programming language. Even those who don't have a proper knowledge or specialized knowledge in programming, they can easily develop a software using a fifth generation programming language. Another feature of this language is that it does not require the reserved words or syntax like in the fourth generation programming language. Okay, in this language we don't need to write down the reserved words or a specific syntax for developing the software. That is why it also makes it very easy for the users to use, even those who don't have a specialized programming knowledge. Know the problem to be solved rather than knowing how to solve it, because it has many advantages. Okay, the user only needs to know what kind of problem it is. It has to know what is the problem properly rather than how to solve the problem. Okay, Prolog and Mercury, they are the examples of fifth generation programming language. From so many years, okay, the programming language has been developed and it is still in the developing age, which is making the user or the programmer to program the softwares or languages or codes very easily. and in the coming year it will continue to develop. Okay, so this chapter of computer programming languages ends here. I hope you all have understood. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. For your homework, what you will do, you will write down the differences between compiler and interpreter. Okay, you will write down the definition of source code and object code, and also you will write down the features of the third generation language, fourth generation language and fifth generation language in your notebook. Thank you.